Hi there, it's Robin Morton here, and today I want to make a different kind of video. A video that I have never made before. I am not going to talk about gold today like I usually do, although there is gold involved in this story. Today I want to ask you to think about other people and other things apart from yourself. I am going to, obviously we've all been very touched, I'm sure, with the horrendous events over in Australia over the last few weeks and months, and I know that the bushfires are not as bad as they were, but they are still ongoing, and I am sure you're like me, you were very affected by seeing footage of injured animals, and you know, something like 750 million animals have perished in the bushfires of Australia, and it's nice to see that the trees and the landscape are all starting to come back. You know, nature is a very powerful and beautiful thing, and yes, the people who, you know, it was tragedy for many people. People lost their lives, people lost their homes, but you know, the people will bounce back, the houses will be rebuilt, the trees will regrow, and the landscape will revert back to what it was like before. But the animals will find it a lot tougher. Many of them are now facing possible extinction because of these fires. And so, you know, I live in the Highlands of Scotland. We take our beautiful nature for granted here. But I decided I wanted to do something to help. So I have, in conjunction with World Wildlife Australia, I have decided to do an epic cycling challenge. I am going to cycle from the southernmost tip of England, a place called Land's End, appropriately. And I'm going to cycle from Land's End to John O'Groats, which is the northernmost tip of Scotland. So that is a journey of 1,000 miles. And I'm going to cycle that in 10 days. Now, 1,000 miles is more than I have cycled in many years. And to cycle 100 miles a day, day after day after day, is going to be a huge challenge to me. I'm in my 50s, my late 50s, I suppose, and so I've never done anything like this in my life before. I've run the London Marathon in my 40s, raised lots of money for a kids' cancer charity. I've jumped out of airplanes, driven racing cars, done lots of mad, crazy charity things before, but I've never ever done anything like this before. And so this is early February when I'm recording this video. I have been training now since the end of January. It is very cold and not very nice weather for cycling. Totally inhospitable, but I've been going out and cycling in the cold and the wind and the rain, and I will be totally ready for this when it comes in May. So that is about 14 weeks from recording of this video. So I have this very tough training plan. I will be able to do it. I'm doing it with a bunch of other people. It's an organised cycle event, although I'm the only person that is doing this for World Wildlife Fund. So I am doing this on my own. I am lucky to be able to do it, that I'm healthy and fit enough, hopefully, to be able to do it. Many people aren't. I'm also lucky enough to be able to take 2 weeks out of my schedule. For most people that would be their summer vacation gone, but I'm lucky enough to, you know, be my own boss. I have my own gold and technology business where I share financial education and help people to get out of debt and live a life of financial abundance with gold and gold-based digital assets, making my money work for me even when I'm cycling the length and breadth of the United Kingdom. So I'm very lucky, and you know, it's still going to be a tough challenge. I'll be away from my family for 2 weeks. It's not something I'm undertaking lightly. It is going to be very tough. I've never I have cycled 100 miles in one day once, but I didn't cycle 100 miles the next day or the day after or the day after that. So I am going to find it very tough. But, you know, every time I feel like quitting, I will just think of those poor little kangaroos and koala bears and all the other wildlife that perished during those fires, and that will spur me on to complete this challenge. So 1,000 miles in 10 days in May. And the reason I'm making this video, and I'm opening up a Just Giving fundraising page, the reason I'm making this video is to implore you to think for a minute about the plight of those animals and think how valuable they are to the ecosystem of this planet. You know, Australia has suffered greatly over the last few months, and you know, a small donation to this appeal could make a huge difference. And I'm not asking you to, you know, get yourself into debt, but you know, a few pounds, a few dollars, whatever, can make a huge difference. I will be giving up, you know, 2 weeks of my time. I'll be giving up thousands of hours of training to be able to do this in the first place. So please think about it, dig deep, think, you know, open your heart to these poor animals, and let's do what we can to bring them back to away from extinction and try and help them as much as we can. Now, I am also going to be giving some prizes to people who donate the most money to this appeal. I'm hoping lots of you will donate you know, a good chunk of money, but even £5 will be very, very welcome. But for those people who donate more than £500, the top 3 donations above that, I am going to give them a blockchain smartphone, which is one of the new cutting edge products in my business financial ecosystem. These blockchain smartphones you can use them anywhere, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, even in the Scottish Highlands. They're worth well over £1,000, and I'm going to give away 3 of these phones to the top 3 donations to my appeal, assuming that they are over £500 or in the region. So there's another reason for doing it, but hopefully you will dig deep and you know, think of other people, think of other things, not just yourself. And my target is 100,000 Australian dollars. That's my target, 100,000. And you know, it's a very, very tough target. The event is only about 14 weeks from now. So I urge you to think about it, come back to me and ask me any questions. You should find a link somewhere or around this video, and I will be posting Facebook lives and videos all the way up through my journey. I will be GPS tracked, I think, so you'll be able to follow my progress, pedal stroke by pedal stroke, and you can even come and join me for moments if you like and cycle alongside me. If you're feeling brave, I will be publishing an itinerary so you'll know my exact route all the way from Land's End to John O'Groats. 10 days, 1,000 miles, me, pedal for pedal. So I'm hoping, yeah, I'll get a lot of interest in this, and we will raise a large amount of money to help those poor creatures in Australia.